Today I want to teach you how to get more done in 4 hours than most people do all week long. My name is Craig Ballantyne. I am the host of Early Rise Radio, and I've created the Millionaire morning routine. I've got an update for you that's going to help you get even more done. I want to walk you through the basics of it. This is the ultimate guide to the morning routine that's going to help you 10x your productivity. So let's go back and talk about the basics of a morning routine. What most people don't know is that your morning routine starts the day before. So your Tuesday morning routine starts Monday afternoon. And when you have that step in place that I'm going to show you in a second, then you'll be able to dominate when you wake up in the morning. Because most people, what they do is they wake up in the morning and they might do their to-do list. But if you're doing your to-do list in the morning, you're already too late. That's the time of day that science shows, as Daniel Pink has mentioned in his book, When, the Perfect Time to Do Anything, the science shows that you have the greatest discipline, willpower, and intention first thing in the morning. So if you're using your discipline, your willpower, and your intention, just figuring out what you're supposed to do for the morning, you're already too late. You've lost the most important time and you're planning. Another mistake that people make is doing the long morning routines. The incantations, affirmations, meditations, cold plunge nation, all this sort of stuff. It's just a waste of the time. And especially if you get caught in the phone temptation, which is where you're scrolling or you're snoozing. So we can't lose our greatest discipline, willpower, and intention to any of those things, whether it's planning, whether it's long morning routines, or whether it's the bad habits and vices of snoozing and scrolling. So what we need to do is go back and walk through exactly what is going to change your morning routine for the better. That's going to help you triple or 5x or even 10x your productivity. And it starts the day before. So here's what you're going to do. Every single afternoon, whether it's at lunchtime or whether it's at coffee break time in the middle of the afternoon or 5 o'clock when you're done work, no later than 7 o'clock at night, you're going to do something called the 3P system. The planning and preparation and the process planning. And it goes like this. All you need is a scrap piece of paper. Now, if you're lucky enough and you have my Perfect Day Formula kit, you can use the scripting pad. But if you just have a scrap piece of paper, you're going to do what's called a brain dump. A brain dump is where you take all the things running through your head, like the 28 things that you want to do tomorrow, such as, get milk, work out, write your book chapter, create a sales letter, do a presentation, have a call with your team, have a call with your friend, have a call with somebody that you get to whine and complain about, and then all the errands and stuff that you have to do. So there's like a million things running through your head. Maybe there's a million, maybe there's 28. It's a lot of stuff. And you got to vomit it out. You got to dump it out over that piece of paper. So you take that piece of paper and you just write them all down. Everything that's in your head. Now, it's going to make you more productive, but it's also going to help you sleep better at night because you're not going to have your mind racing and ping-ponging over those 28 things that are stuck up in the clutter of your brain attic that cause so many people anxiety and stress. So now we've got it out over that piece of paper in the brain dump. And I kind of use the analogy that your morning routine is like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. The first thing you have to do with a jigsaw puzzle is you have to spread it out over the table because you can't get clarity and you can't put it together until you've dumped it out. So now that we've dumped out the 28 things or the million things in your head, from your head, now what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize them. So it's a priority to-do list is the second step. Brain dump, priority to-do list. You have 28 things or a million things, but one of them, only one of them can be number one, the most important thing you have to do tomorrow. What is that? What is the most important work task that you have to do tomorrow? That's going to be the thing that you do in your morning routine because that is where you have the greatest, say it with me now, discipline, willpower, and intention to work on the hardest things. And we all know that as the day goes on, other people bring emergencies and fires into our lives that they expect us to take care of. And so trying to do your most important thing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, after you've just had lunch and maybe had too many carbs and you're kind of in a carb coma, like good luck, that's never going to happen. And you're going to procrastinate on it and push it off till tomorrow. And the next thing you know, you push it off for 17 days in a row and you're like, I'm going to forget on this project and just pick it up on January 1st. But that's the wrong thing to do. So what we do is we pick that priority and then we pick the second priority and then the third priority. So the top 3 things that we need to do, and we're going to go through them in order the next morning. So let's go back to the number one thing that you have. Maybe it's writing a book chapter. Maybe it is creating a PowerPoint slide. Maybe it is writing a sales letter or a sales script or a YouTube script. Whatever it is, That's a pretty good start, doing the brain dump and the priority to-do list. And that's where I used to stop back when I was writing my first book, The Perfect Day Formula. But there was way too many days when I'd wake up and I'd be all gung-ho to go and write chapter 2 of the book, and I'd sit down, I'd open up my computer first thing in the morning, I'd be on the Millionaire morning routine, doing it step by step, and then all of a sudden, I go, I don't know what to write for chapter 2. And I'd have writer's block. So then I introduced the third step, which is process planning. And this is kind of stolen from Chip and Dan Heath, who wrote the book Made to Stick. And their book, Made to Stick, is about habit change. And so in the book, it talks about making the path to success smooth. Make it as smooth as possible by eliminating the obstacles in the way and then making it frictionless to go down the path. We kind of grease the groove. So when I was a writer and I wanted to write chapter 2 of the book, I would put down 5 bullet points the night before. And then the next morning I'd wake up and, it's a whole lot easier to write about 200 words on each of the 5 bullet points than it was to look at the blank screen and go, man, I don't even know what to write for the chapter title or for the 5 bullet points. And next thing you know, I was cleaning the house. And I'm so bad at cleaning, I hate cleaning so much that I don't even know how to turn a broom on. And so if I'm cleaning the house, that means I'm really procrastinating in my life. So after a couple of sessions of that, I realized, I need to make the path smoother. So a little bit of work, a little bit of process planning the night before, whether it's bullet points for your PowerPoint or bullet points for your chapter or bullet points for your sales message or whatever that you're putting together. We need to make the path to success smoother. Even if you want to just do Bible study first thing in the morning, as many of my Christian clients do, a lot of them say, man, the morning got too crazy busy, I didn't get a chance to do it. Did you set out your Bible? No. Did you open it to the page that you wanted to study? No. Listen, go to your kitchen table, put your Bible out, put it open to the page that you want to read, the scripture, the verse, the chapter, and you know what? When you wake up in the morning and you go to the kitchen table, half done is half begun, as Mary Poppins once said. So we do that planning and preparation. So those 3 steps are brain dump, priority to-do list, process planning. And then when you wake up in the morning, you have the, say it with me now, greatest discipline, willpower, and intention. So you work on the hardest thing first. And even if you only do 15 minutes in the morning, if you're an author, you can write 500 words in 15 minutes. Now, 500 words, 6 days a week, 15 minutes in the morning, is 3,000 words in a week. In 12 weeks, you have 36,000 words, which is enough for a small book. My Perfect Day Formula book and Perfect Week Formula book are only about 40 or 45,000 words. So you can write a book in 12 weeks in just 15 minutes in the morning when you do this planning and preparation the day before. Now, there's one new thing that I want to enter into this, and it comes from the book Think and Grow Rich. So the story, the legend goes, I learned this from Dan Kennedy, who I believe learned this from, heard this story from Earl Nightingale, which goes way back in the personal development world. And Dan Kennedy said in one of his seminars that I went to many, many Dan Kennedy seminars, and he said, so on the day that Napoleon Hill was supposed to submit the manuscript and the title of the book, he was stuck. He had the title of Think and Grow Rich, Use Your Noodle to Get the Boodle. Use your noodle to get the boodle. Crazy, right? Do you think it would have sold 30 million copies if it was called Use Your Noodle to Get the Boodle? I don't think so. Not even use your noodle to get the poodle. So, what does Napoleon Hill do when he's stuck with a crappy title and has a deadline? Does he go to the library? Does he go and call his friends? No, he goes to bed and has a nap. And he believes in the power of the subconscious mind. And sure enough, as legend has it, he wakes up a few hours later, or an hour later, or 20 minutes later, whatever it was, and he goes, think and grow rich. And that replaced use your poodle to get the noodle, or whatever it was that he originally had. So now, this is what we're going to steal from Napoleon Hill and put into our morning routine to make it more effective. What I want you to do in your planning and preparation is when you go through that and you go, okay, my number one priority is to, for me, I always go back to writing. So chapter 2, write the chapter and here are the 5 bullet points, and okay, great. Right now I'm writing a lot of sales scripts for our new Millionaire mentorship. So recently I've been write the intro, 500 words to Millionaire mentorship. That's my number one thing I have to do tomorrow. Then I put a couple bullet points on it. And here's what I do, is then I take out a sticky note and I write Millionaire Mentorship Intro. Find a strong hook. And I put that on a sticky note. And I take that sticky note and I put it beside my bed. And then when I go to bed at night, I read that sticky note and I say, brain, you're going to solve this problem while I sleep. Because while you sleep, your subconscious mind still works. So your conscious mind is snoring, like I do, unless Michelle nudges me, then I have to flip on my side. But your subconscious mind, whether you're snoring or you're not snoring, is working. And while it works overnight, it's going to come up with all these ideas. And so if you gave it 5 bullet points, I realized that I used this without knowing I was using it on days when I woke up and I wrote 1,000 words or sometimes 2,000 words in an hour for my books. And I was like, whoa, why did this flow out of me? And it's because I did so much planning and preparation the day before that my brain did all the work overnight, and it was just a matter of how fast I could type the next morning. So you're going to read your sticky note. And maybe you're working on your credit card debt. Maybe that's your number one problem in life that you're working on first thing in the morning with your greatest discipline, willpower, and intention. And you're like, think of ways to cut back and increase income. Cut back expenses and increase income. And you wake up the next morning and you sit down and for 15 minutes, 6 days a week, you work on cutting your expenses and increasing your income. You'll get out of credit card debt way faster than the person who says, I'm going to try and find time to do this in the afternoon or at night. No, you're not. You're going to watch TV. You're going to watch Netflix. You're going to order DoorDash, and you're going to get more credit card debt because you didn't work on it first thing in the morning. And so this can apply to anything, whether you want to do Bible study, whether you want to get out of debt, whether you want to write a book, whether you want to write a sales letter, whether you want to figure out how to start a business, whether you want to start a podcast and write YouTube scripts and all that sort of stuff. You put your mind to work on the problem overnight. So during your planning and preparation, you brain dump, priority to-do list, you do process planning, then you write something down on the sticky note, you put that beside your bed, you go to bed at night, you read the sticky note and you say, brain, work on this problem. And then you wake up in the morning and you go immediately, maybe you go pee and you drink some water and maybe even start drinking your coffee, but you sit down and you work on that. And your brain is just going to be rushing and gushing out the information that you need to go so far ahead on your number one priority. And even if you only do this for 15 minutes, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 250 days in the year, your life is going to change so dramatically. Now, I'd love if you could give 60 minutes or 2 hours on some of those days, maybe most of those days. It's just like what Russell Brunson said about using my system. He said, I get more done in my 2-hour morning routine, thanks to Craig, than I used to in an 8-hour day. Because the system flows, it's also interconnected, and it's going to be a total game changer for you in life. So one more time, in the afternoon or the early evening, we sit down and we do brain dump, we do priority to-do list, and we do process planning. And then we use the sticky note, we give our brain a problem to solve, we put it beside the bed, we read it before bed, we give our brain instructions and orders, we wake up in the morning and we go as quickly as possible to getting the information out and onto paper. And it moves us ahead. And we do that every single day, every single work day. If you want to do it every single day of the year, man, you're going to be light years ahead of everybody else. And when you do that, that's the ultimate guide to the morning routine. That is how you get more done in, really it's 90 minutes in a week, 15 minutes, 6 days a week, than most people do all week long. That's the ultimate guide. So I want to hear how this is going to help you. I want you to comment below and tell me what you thought of that, what you thought of the original title of Think and Grow Rich, but let me know how you're going to use this. And let me know your results even more so that you use this Millionaire morning routine to get ahead in life. I'm Craig Ballantyne from Early to Rise Radio, and if you haven't already, go and get my Perfect Week Formula book and read more about the Farm Boy morning routine that I teach in the Perfect Week Formula.